Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Worldwide Paradigm Shift. I am Messenger Christopher Spirit World X, the Mahdi, and it's good to be back. What I would like to do is run down real quick over what we've gone over so far through the show. And let me turn this down a moment. Don't worry, you're not going to miss anything I won't tell you about right now. Okay, so what we've done is we've taken a trip through my life. We have seen a lot of the disaster. I've talked about a lot of the disaster in my life. I have, of course, combined a couple clips or integrated a few clips that were directly tied to the civil rights movement, through to integration, and my mother's place of birth. That would be Birmingham, Alabama. That was the last clip. The clip that we are presently looking at, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters of all bloodlines, respectively, is a clip on Watts, of course, after my mother moved up here from down south to the north, and of course the eastern part of the United States, and of course Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, New Kensington, Ronco, Pennsylvania, Uniontown, Pennsylvania. I found myself with my brothers and sisters here in New Kensington, struggling as any teenager would to find him and herself in high school. And of course, I earlier told you about my experience in high school, and it's what a coincidence, folks. You're going to see in this clip that the same problem I had in high school, that these same problems are the problems self-generated, by the way, problems and issues that I also myself had. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to enjoy the rest of the program. This will be the last clip, the next to the last clip before we get to, this is just one of the, you want to connect your dots in life. And this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to connect all your dots so you'll never have another question on why can't I have what everyone else has in life? Why do I have to go through what I'm going through? How come no matter what good I do, I'm always seen as a problem? So here you go, folks. You can get into that, and I'm going to get this candle out of the way before it burns the television.
It's because of violence, but we have violence in LA, like I said, and people are moving out of LA also, But it's rough all over, really. And Compton just seemed to have the name because it's just I guess because it's the majority of them is black, and everything happened in all black neighborhood. It seems to bear right down on, it goes stronger than it would if it was in LA,
What do you think about the black leadership of the city, the mayor, city council?
Well, I don't know that much about him, so I really couldn't comment on him. But I know we need better law enforcement. I know this, So if he can do anything to help that, and he's not doing anything, I think he's failing there,
Okay, this is Alan, Allallenharden. Blacks are moving out of Compton. Why? What's wrong?
It was more like, hey, it's more like too much of crime and people's walking down the street getting shot. And it's more like you can't do hardly nothing without getting shot or even getting jumped on. So the majority is more like going to move out of Compton.
Suburbs, and it seems like this is really a dream city, and blacks thought Compton was a dream city.
It's a dream city, but the street itself is quiet. But once you have other people outside that's going to take over something, what else can you do?
So you just move away from it.
Well, I'm not going to move away. I separated up, but I don't going to move.
Why the crime? Why these problems, do you think?
it's more like it's a gang raid or what. I'm trying to see who's the baddest or what. I don't know. I really can't say.
You know, as blacks move from Watts, let's say, into Compton, is it a behavioral thing, or, you know, is it the poor black? Is it blacks who just don't like other kinds of blacks
I don't know.
moving?
You got to ask Dennis.
Okay,
More about Watts.
Oh, well, it's not that blacks don't like blacks.
Let me start that, all right? Okay.
It's not that blacks don't like blacks. It's just that the brothers on the street, they're here to protect the street. And the youngsters that's smaller than them that live here. That's what they're here for.
Why do the people want to move?
Why do the people want to move? I don't see, it's not too many people have been moving off this street, really. It's, well, around the community.
Yes.
The reason they're moving is because of the violence that happens on the streets.
The muggings and killings and things like that.
Well, that's what you want to say, yeah.
Okay, once again, why the violence?
Why the violence? Well, there is really no violence here, because the people on this street, they're like united together, and they protect the street only.
How about in the community?
Well, other communities, other communities
No,
outside
here, no, in Compton.
well, I don't see too much violence here myself. But they do happen at night, in which that's when the outsiders come in and try to take over, you know.
Identity politics of the streets
Okay.
transformed into
You was asking about violence.
identity politics
Here then, and the majority was white.
in business,
And,
corporation.
when we went to school, when we went to school at Compton High School, your parents had to carry you to school because the whites were
And
jumping on the
politics.
blacks. So violence has been here all the time.
No, it's a black violence.
Well, yeah, it's a black violence, but I guess they don't have anything else to do. Give them something to participate in, and they wouldn't have all this violence, you know. So,
You were leading to a point that I'm very off the track.
That's where I'm going with this clip.
Why?
well, because I think if the mayor had a chance to do what he wanted to do, it would probably be a better city. I don't know if there was something about some money once that the mayor supposed had messed over. Come to find out that, well, from what I heard, from what I get, is that Compton, it's just rough, you know, it's rough out here. What they're doing, they let us buy these homes, we move in, and they started raising taxes on us every year. And they know you have to qualify to get in a home, number one. And once you get into the home, you have to be making so much, you know, to qualify. And once you get into them, they're raising taxes on you every year. Eventually, you'll lose your home, you know. And this is what they got set up now. I mean, we got a lot of empty houses out here.
This is the process of our collective, folks. That means all bloodlines, magnetic feeding frenzy. I'll, of course, explain that later. It's a psychological, meaning, therefore, magnetic feeding frenzy. We'll discuss it shortly. Between all bloodlines.
Really, black power exists here in the establishment, police, fire department, mayor, city council. How have blacks done in governing themselves in Compton? And in answering that, you can kind of give me
Another tip, folks.
Where it stands.
We are in masquerade.
I think my
He sells wigs.
Compton over the past 10 years.
Wigs are bought all over Compton in 1971.
I've been in the wig business in downtown Compton here for about 8 years. And I've seen a change in the downtown area of Compton. The people are still shopping here. The merchants are still making money here. There have been very few changes by talking to the merchants in the community. We all stand here and we're sticking it out. But with a little bit more support, a little bit of the positive side, we feel as if we can do even better. I came to Compton in 1958. I played football at Compton College. It was a predominantly white community. And I love Compton, and this is why I stayed here in Compton and made my home. Here in Compton. And on the problem, it's about 5 or 6 guys on the Compton Police Department that played football with me at the college. And the reason they're still there because they have an interest in the community, and they're really undermanned by the police department. This is where they feel that they need more help because
You've hired a security guard here, haven't you, up and down the streets?
yes, we have security up and down the street to give our customers a little bit more security. We had security on Manchester and Broadway in 1965 before the Watts riot. You don't see these type of problems. Security comes to Compton 6 years, say 5 years later, and then it's a big issue. Compton needs security. I have a store in the Crenshaw and Santa Barbara area. We had security over there before Compton. And so I don't feel as if the news media have been fair to Compton based on this. By me having stores in these locations. I've never been held up here in Compton. I've never had a hold up. I don't think there have been too many holdups on the downtown merchants in Compton compared to Manchester and Broadway, Crenshaw and Santa Barbara. And I think with a little bit more of the positive sides, Compton can come back and be a much better community from the outside. Because it's here, it's known world over. Anywhere I go, people know of Compton because of the Compton relay, the great football teams. It's positive, so with a little help.
Now observe the psychological observations
You're here 3 months.
that are taking place in this conversation.
About Compton, what were they?
Well, I'm like a lot of people sitting on the outside. I believe everything I read in the newspapers. And
This gentleman is the city planner of Compton.
Compton is a very unique city. It's one of the very few major cities in America that
Plans
has
your
black population.
whole experience
As a matter of fact, for all
in
intents and
Compton.
purposes, it is the major American city that is, in
And of
fact,
course,
a total black
they
population,
exist in
black
every city
population.
across America at this moment in
I
time.
had, when I was invited to come in
Our
to
brothers.
the Chamber of Commerce here, I expected the worst, frankly. I had visions of slums and all this.
To whom we give all of our power to,
In the 3 months that I have been
to
here,
conduct their
I have
business
found that ain't necessary.
as they are.
So, I found that Compton is
In 2021,
basically, unlike a lot of cities, 60% of the people, the residents of this city, own their own homes. We have a fairly high medium income throughout the entire city. We find that the blacks who are the controlling city government, your school boards, and all of your various associations and committees in the area are very knowledgeable and very capable people. Which surprised me. I mean, as a neophyte in this type of a situation, I didn't realize that,
a neophyte.
that in the black community there was so much really business and acumen available.
How about experience?
Oh, that lights your fire, brother. That lights your fire. You say, "Oh, see, they want me to win," and that's where your power gets drained. That's just a tip. Help you connect your dots.
Recently to become active in government, so he is learning as he participates. Let's put it this way. But you can quote me, they're learning fast. I mean, I sit at a city council meeting or a planning commission meeting, and I'm amazed at the foresight and the business sense of the people in charge.
Now, to all African men, black men, it is not
Problems?
these men's fault that they're here doing the job they're doing.
You show me that any city in America.
This is our fault. So we cannot blame
We all have problems.
that man for anything right there. I'll explain to you why. You have to be willing to watch this program
Quite a change.
and accept your
This city has had a
part
metamorphosis, if you will, from
in the transformations
one-time
and metamorphoses that have taken place.
Southern California, it was a medium income,
Transpired in our lives.
solid white community that was known throughout the whole West. Then, after World War II, the black population started moving into the city of Compton over a period of years, to the extent that today it's 75% black. And in all of this change, certainly there's been a little neglect, and there's been you've overlooked a lot of things that are necessary in the progress of a good American type progressive city. I have found that the basic thing that we need in Compton is a more unified effort on the part of all of the organizations, all of the citizens, the commerce, the industry, and the city government towards developing a spirit of pride of community and a spirit of pride in the appearance of our community. Like most cities, we've neglected our housekeeping. And
Why is that?
Influence these people, he's saying, to be cleaner and to champion a good look and a good masquerade. Wear a nice wig.
It's a name, that was affiliated with the...
Well, don't let me throw you on the track.
And the name of the game here is identity politics, folks, on this magnetic chessboard.
Condition, let's say, in that Potts area, and moved into Compton.
Everyone will soon know their places,
A lot of the blacks...
and everyone is valuable. Please, I'd like everyone to bear that in mind.
moved into our area.
Your answers are here.
To comparatively low rates.
All the answers you've ever wanted.
Units. A lot of them, federally funded, and these people, they just don't have the pride of ownership because they're dealing with an absentee landlord who doesn't particularly care about the appearance of his property as long as he gets the rent in. And a lot of these people have never lived in a home before, and it isn't like owning your own home. There's a lot of them that don't supervise their children as well as they should. They let them mess around and degrade the environment in which they live. And this is one thing that we're trying to correct. Now, this isn't true of the city of Compton. We have pockets every city has that need
Identity politics.
Basically, the city as a whole is in pretty good shape.
As long as they stay crazy,
Areas that do need a little housekeeping attention.
that's all that matters. We don't care what their city looks like.
Tend to see that this is done because
Especially if they don't care.
Had these problems before.
They
As you
don't
said,
care.
In the past, you're not unique.
They don't
One
care.
reason that people have been looking to Compton is because for the first time, black power really exists. The mayor, the city council, black leadership. And why haven't they been able to come to grips with these problems?
Why? You mean the black leadership? Well, I would say this, that it isn't a question of not being able to come to grips. They just haven't realized until just now possibly the basic importance of what we're talking about as far as good housekeeping is concerned. They have been so busy learning the business of government and negotiating with the housing and urban development branches of the federal government for the necessary funds to set up a model cities operation in the city, or set up redevelopment agencies, and they have been concentrating more on that aspect of it and sort of neglecting leaving it up to the citizen to take care of. Like I told a bunch of citizens the other day, I said, look, you can't expect 5 councilmen at City Hall to put the show on the road like we're talking about. They didn't follow it up to the condition that it's in. It's the people themselves. So what we're advocating is the time is now for a do-it-yourself rehabilitation drive in the city of Compton involving every man, woman, and child to clean it up, paint it up, pick up the paper off the street and get rid of the cans and the garbage, and if the house needs painting, let's do it.
Their task has been really pretty difficult, isn't it?
Very difficult.
An influx of new blacks into this area. They've had to deal with all kinds of things. Problems almost that have been tougher than other suburbs.
Yes, that's true. They have had problems that are unique to, I can think of no other community in America, because you cannot compare Compton with a lot of the eastern ghetto type areas. I want to emphasize once again.
Can you compare it to suburbs, the white suburb?
Can I compare it to white suburbs? Well, yes, I can. What type of comparison do you want with the
I
white
was
suburbs?
thinking, if we compare it with white suburbs, what are the unique problems that make it different?
The unique problem?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the white suburbs in this area are basically all new subdivisions, planned communities with ample housing. By that I mean 4 and 5 bedroom homes, you know, and larger. We don't have that in Compton. Compton is 85 years old. And we have a lack of that, of the type of affluent housing, if you will, that is prevalent in the suburbs. So what we have to do is come in and renovate an 85-year-old city to meet our needs. We very badly need